Should atheists stay home on election day? I mean, that seems like a dumb question. We should vote. Of course we should vote. I mean, if we want to have any influence in our society, on our government, we have to elect candidates who support our issues. But what happens when all the candidates available to you seem beholden to the religious right? Even liberal Democrats have a habit of bowing down to religion when it comes time for elections. And they have a good reason for doing that. There are just more religious voters out there. It's strategic. It's rare when even liberals reach out specifically to non-religious voters. So there's a case to be made that maybe politicians would start listening to us if they knew that all the non-religious voters were going to sit out the election. They need our support, and they've taken us for granted too long. Maybe if we didn't vote, and we made it clear that they're not going to get our support unless they take strong stances on issues that matter to most atheists, like LGBT rights, like women's rights, like church-state separation issues, we're not going to vote for them. But all that said, I actually think that's a messed up argument not to vote. I mean, considering we can count on one hand how many atheists are even running for office, we are very likely going to have to throw our support behind a religious candidate, even a devoutly religious one, who agrees with us most of the time. And I have no problem doing that. There are plenty of great religious people in government right now. And I think that if we can nudge the government a little more in our direction, that's probably the best we could vote for. It's not like politicians are going to throw a party for atheists anytime soon, but at least if they're voting in the right way, in the way most of us want them to, that's not a bad thing. If you're staying at home, politicians aren't about to cater to you unless they know there's enough of you doing that to make a difference. And, trying to get atheists to do anything together is like herding cats. Politicians pay attention to people who vote. They pay attention to how they vote. They don't care about people who sit out during elections because those people are generally apathetic. They don't care about politics in the first place, so why bother even pandering to them? So don't sit out during the election. Not this week, not next year. You have to vote. And you have to vote for someone who represents your values. Even if that means voting for a third party, even if that means essentially throwing away your vote, sitting out isn't the way to protest. The way to protest is by casting your vote for someone you want to see in office. Politicians will pay attention to that. Part of the problem is that we're just like kryptonite to a lot of politicians. They don't want to be seen hanging out around atheists. But another part of the reason is that a lot of politicians don't even know we're really out there. They don't pay attention to us because they don't realize we're actually a pretty influential voting bloc if we all kind of voted in the same direction. Do you really think they'll start paying attention to us all of a sudden if we all sit out? Of course not. The religious right, by the way, would never do anything as stupid as tell people to sit out during an election. They might threaten to do that. They might threaten to not vote, but they've had too much success electing politicians who kowtow to their positions to make not voting a strategy. What atheists need is influence. And the only way we're going to get that is if we make it clear that certain issues matter to us, and no politician's going to get our support unless they're with us on those issues. And we're not asking them for anything crazy. We're not asking them to promote atheism through the government. We're asking for things like church-state separation, which is something that benefits Christians as much as it benefits us. The more of us who make that clear, the better off we all are in the long run. Even if that means supporting a candidate who isn't with us 100% of the time, even if it means supporting a candidate who may be the lesser of two evils. I mean, it'd be great to be able to vote for an atheist in office who already knows where we stand on these issues, but until that happens across the country, voting for a religious candidate who happens to be progressive may be the best thing we can hope for. But we got to show our support for those people. Keep in mind, if we sit out during an election and the religious right votes, the government isn't going to get any better. They're certainly not going to get any better on our issues. I know this sounds cliche, but our best bet is to vote and make it known that we are voting based on our humanist values. If we do that, if enough of us do that, politicians will have no choice but to pay attention. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. Leave a comment below, and we'll be sure to check it out. And don't forget to subscribe.